Hello and welcome to the Jessica Brahma channel. I'm delighted you joined me again today. Thank you so much for joining me. Yes, we're still following up on the rigged elections in Nigeria. The rigged elections that everybody thought was going to be the freest and fairest election in Nigeria, but it turned out that the INEC chairman was actually deceiving us. All the while he was telling us about beavers, all the while that he had to spend billions buying the beavers and telling us how the election was rigging proof. All the while he already made up his mind he was going to rig it in favor of the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu, and of course the Lagos election as well. He had already made up his mind was going to rig it in favor of Bola Tinubu's candidate, the governor Sanwo-Olu. It's interesting the revelations that are coming out. If you have been following the television interviews, you must have heard Rotimi Amaechi, the bombshell that he released, the bombshell interview he gave, because he saw how frustrating everything was in Rivers State, how weak the Rivers State governor had weaponized the Nigerian police and using them to kill people indiscriminately. They will pick people up from polling booths, people they know that are being very difficult and not allowing them to rig. They'll just pick them up from a polling unit and the people don't come back again. By the time you see them, it's their dead body you see. They've gone and shot them. Before, when police want to do that in any polling booth, they just take the person away and they make sure that they don't release you until the election is over. But in this case, they completely silence you. These people don't have any respect for human life at all. These people are so bloodthirsty. They're just killing people for no reason, just because of power. Power that is ephemeral. This life that is here today and gone tomorrow, they are deciding to play God in the lives of Nigerian youth, and they're just killing people. So when Amaechi, who is even an APC chieftain, Amaechi is a minister of information. When Amaechi tells you that the situation is hopeless, then you better believe him that the situation is hopeless. He said that the situation is hopeless because the INEC chairman, Mahmoud, was appointed by somebody in Tinubu's camp. Who do you think that would be? Who do you think that person is? Of course, nobody else than El-Rufai. So the INEC chairman was nominated for the appointment by El-Rufai, and of course the government gave him the job, and going through the Senate was just a walkover, and he already knew the job he was coming to do to make sure that the candidate, Tinubu, is rigged in spite of the wishes of Nigerians. So we're connecting the dots very well now. We're connecting the dots. Another revelation that Rotimi Amaechi gave was the fact that Wike had worked with the INEC chairman in the past. He said that Mahmoud, the INEC chairman, was actually the executive secretary of TET Fund. TET Fund, that's Tertiary Education Trust Fund, a scheme that was set up by the government in 2011 to disburse, manage, and monitor education tax to government-owned tertiary institutions. So Wike and INEC chairman are like 5 and 6. They've worked together, so they have made their plans immediately the elections came up. So those of us that were thinking, oh, Labour Party, the whole of Rivers State is for Labour Party, we didn't realize that Wike had his plans already sealed and delivered by the INEC chairman. I mean, what would give Wike the temerity to be just arresting people, using the police to arrest people, to be writing his own results and giving the INEC rec to be announcing, and the INEC rec will just announce it. The state returning officer, he will just announce it without blinking an eye. It was very interesting what happened at the Coalition Center, the Rivers State Coalition Center, where the different party agents and representatives were voicing their opinion. As the results were being released, one of them said to the returning officer, the INEC chief, he said, look, I can see you're announcing fake results and you're smiling. Where did you get these results you're announcing? He said the polling units you're announcing, no election took place in those units because the INEC agents there were all arrested by the police. He said 8 of the agents in the local government areas were arrested by the police. There were no elections in that. He said, so why are you announcing fake results and you're smiling? The man quickly said, don't say that. Don't say that again. Withdraw that statement that I'm smiling. The guy has already said what he said. You're reading fake results written for you by Wiki, and you're smiling. You're smiling over the dead bodies of Nigerian youths, innocent people that just wanted to make their voice heard, wanted to vote for their preferred candidate. You're smiling about it. You know, when this guy, they confronted him, and it wasn't just one agent that confronted this man. So many of the other agents confronted him. And when they were saying what they said, it reminded me of one man. A man that was the chief medical officer of the Nigeria Air Force Hospital in Lagos many years ago. This man, the Air Force Hospital, treated my dad. They treated my dad for his eye issues and all that. And we wanted to take my dad abroad to treat the eye because they didn't do a good job of it. We went to them to write a report. Say, kindly write a report to say, you treated Mr. So and so, and this is the result, what you saw with his eyes, and this is the treatment you gave. The normal medical report you write when you have treated somebody. The doctor that treated my dad said he was not the one that would authorize that. They had to be authorized by the chief medical officer of the Air Force Hospital at the time. We went to see the man. I spoke to him. I said, this is my dad. He was treated by the Air Force Hospital. We need a report because we needed to be able to get a visa for my father to travel abroad for treatment. The chief medical officer said, except we paid him 25,000 naira. He wasn't going to write the report. Sir, how can we pay you 25,000 naira? We already were treated. My dad was treated in this hospital. We went through the process. We paid all the necessary fees we were to pay and the medications. Why are you asking us to give you 25,000 naira, sir, for you to write a report? Allow the doctor to do a report on my dad. This man refused. He blatantly refused to write the report and instructed the doctors not to write the report. I was shocked. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. Of course, we went to a private hospital and we got my dad's report. And, you know, I remember vividly what really angered me. It was the fact that we wanted, because my mother and my dad were treated in that hospital. I remember very well. And we wanted him to write the report for both my mom and my dad because we needed them to do the cataract surgery abroad. So he said we should pay 25,000 for my dad and 25,000 for my mom. I remember very well. I pleaded with him. I said, please, sir, can we just pay 25,000 naira? I'm sorry, my voice is really cracking up. I had this flu, but it's going now. I'm getting better. So can we just pay 25,000 naira so that you will do the report for 2 of them? You can even write the report in one paper, sir. Can we just... He refused. He said we must pay 50,000, 25. We left him. We got to a private medical hospital. They examined my parents and the guy said, okay, I'll write the report, but you pay 25,000. So he accepted 25,000. And that wasn't even the main hospital that treated my dad. You know, that treated my parents. He wrote the report for my parents. And of course, I was able to bring them to the UK. At that time, I wasn't living in the UK yet. I was still based in Nigeria. I was able to bring them. We paid the normal fees and everything needed for him to get the eye surgery. And my mom to also do her own cataract surgery. My dad had both glaucoma and cataract. My mom had only cataract. So why am I telling you this story? Do you know, my brothers and sisters, that few months, it wasn't up to 6 months, because I had worked in Concord newspapers before. So I had my colleagues still working in Concord newspapers. So I was in touch with them, and they published an article in the Weekend Concord at the time. They published an article, and guess what the news was? That doctor had just died on the express road. He was knocked down by a motorcyclist. The lawlessness of Nigeria caught up with him. Why would a motorcyclist be speeding so far to hit this man on the road as he was trying to cross the road? And they say he died because he hit his head on the pavement. I'm not gloating over his death. Everybody dies. But if only he knew that he would just die in a few months' time, wouldn't he have done some good to my old dad and my mom? Wouldn't he have written that thing and taken just 25,000? He insisted on 50,000. You see, all the thugs they are using to kill, all the policemen they are using to kill, they will certainly reap it. They will reap it. Because Bible says that whatever you sow, you reap. And when you sow mango, you reap mangoes, not just mango. You reap mangoes. So my brothers and sisters, don't give up hope. Don't lose heart. Don't let it depress you. The killings going on, what they are doing, what Wike and co are doing concerning elections, what the Lagos governor had instructed thugs to kill and maim. Don't let it weigh you down, my brother and sister. At least we know that INEC chairman is already in the pockets of Tinubu's camp. So there's nothing we could have done to stop the rigging, except if we could have stopped his appointment. But I feel so sad that he fooled all of us. He fooled us. This is a clear case of 419, where you give people hope. You tell them, don't worry. You tell them all the things they want to hear. All the things. You say things to allay their fears, to give them confidence to trust you. To trust you. This is 419. We've been scammed by INEC chairman Mahmoud. We have been scammed big time, Nigerians. We have been scammed. There's no Yahoo. There's more than this one. This is real sophisticated international Yahoo. It's a real disgrace on the leaders of Nigeria. It's a disgrace on the nation. It's a greater disgrace on Mahmoud, the INEC chairman. I'm Jessica John Brimer. I just want to appeal to you. The last video I did, it had over 45,000 views. But the 45,000 did not click subscribe. It's free. Just click the subscribe button to encourage me and to get other people to view the video. That's how it works. Please, as you listen to me, click that subscribe button. If 45,000 people who watched my last video had clicked on the subscribe button, I would have had over 45,000 subscribers by now. It doesn't cost a thing. It's just your way of encouraging me to say, I identify with what you're doing. I appreciate your hard work and your research. You know, I want us to understand something. I want us to understand that evil can never go unpunished. It can never ever go unpunished. I'm going to do another video and explain to you my understanding of what Tinubu and his cohorts are doing. And explain to you how a Yoruba man told the governor of Lagos State, nobody elected you. He said, nobody elected you. You selected yourself. He said, stop deceiving yourselves. He wasn't an Igbo man that said as a Yoruba man. So I want to do a video to really address this tribal sentiment they want to bring. Don't allow anybody fool you. Please. One of the best friends I've had in life are Yorubas. Don't allow anybody whip up this ethnic sentiment that you say you hate Yorubas. Don't hate them. Because it wasn't just Igbos that rejected Tinubu and the Sanwo-Olu. It was mainly Yorubas. The Yorubas have got activism in their blood and they stand for the truth. That's why I respect them. I'm going to, stop it there. Please click the subscribe button. I'm Evangelist Jessica John Brimer. I want you to know that heaven is real. Hell is hot. Don't allow anybody encourage you to be doing evil. Give your life to Christ and do the right thing so that you don't end up in hellfire with the killers and the murderers that you are seeing, because that's the place that's reserved for murderers. Hellfire. You don't belong there, my brother. You don't belong there, my sister. God bless you richly as you subscribe to my